105.9 on the FM band. Good morning to you, Grenada, Guy, Grupini, Martinique, and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. To you, wherever you are, it is a wonderful Wednesday morning. It is the 11th day of the month of August. Traditionally, it would be the day after. Well, either way, let's forget the day after what it is. It is today, and we're teaming up with our friends at the Wireman's house. You've been given one more chance after you behaved bad for the last 2 days. Just joking. Yeah, you have been given a chance though to do it right. Some of you have been behaving bad for a lot of years and not taking advantage of the shopping and the expert advice that you can get quality prices and products. Well, Papa God smile on you. You're still in the land of the living, and it is Wednesday. And I want to say good morning to my wonderful friends inside of the Wireman's house. Good morning to you, my dear sir and lady. How are you?
We are good. We are good, Joe.
I'm surprised you guys were able to wash off and take off the
oil and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't say it with oil, you know. I didn't say it with oil. I just said wash off. I mean, but it's not. Now we know who play mass and who ain't play mass. I would just say wash off. But anyway, it's good to have you guys. We were on a break for the last 2 weeks because of Olympics. I almost say COVID because of Olympics, but certainly Olympics is all over. Kirani has made history, and so Kirani literally joined the Wireman's house. Because you guys, Kirani made history just in the Olympics, but the Wireman's house makes history almost every day. So
absolutely, definitely, absolutely.
So let's put today into perspective. What are we offering today? I know there's always great prices, crazy giveaways, and there's always something special in the making.
Well, I just want to say good morning to you, Joe, and good morning to everyone who is listening via radio, television, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. We just want to say a special good morning to each and every one of you. And Joe, at the Wireman's house, we always, emphasize on safety. And this week we find it fit to, talk about safety tips. A lot of kids are home, and we just say, let us give out some tips so that people can put into practice. Yeah.
Safety, and that's important. The kids at home and boys, it's always a scary thought for a parent. I think some parents, they dread the summer holidays. When the kids are home, and there's always a question about their safety, and their safety should always be of paramount importance, not just on the summer breaks, but every day as it is. So we talk about safety around the house. So where are we starting the conversation?
So, I just want everyone who is logged on to follow these electrical safety tips to keep you and your home safe from electrical hazard. So, we always have to avoid overloading outlets, right? So, Kiran will give you a little insight as to how you should go about doing so.
Right, regarding overloading the sockets, basically want everyone to be safe when in regards to that. When you have your appliances home, especially like in the kitchen area, you have your blender, you have your microwave, you have your juicer and all them different appliances. We don't want you all to plug in all of them at the same time in one socket, right? This will cause the electrical fire or make damage to your appliances in the process.
But why not? So I have an outlet there. I have a 3-pin plug. Yeah, a surge protector maybe. It accommodates 4. I'm only putting 3. What's wrong with that?
Well, you have to consider different appliances. They pull different voltages.
Right.
So regarding to that, if you're using a microwave, the microwave pull a lot of electricity to heat, and you have your blender and stuff. So with that, that could cause an electrical fire within the socket. Because remember, each socket is rated at 13 amps. Right. And once the socket has 13 amps, then the fuse could either blow or it could cause electrical fire in the socket.
And either way, that's a risk you can't afford to take.
Exactly, because you don't want to be in the process to buy a new blender, a new microwave. I mean, them things are costly right now.
So let's be practical. I'm thinking, let's take the practicality. So a home owner, they're hearing us and they're saying, okay, fine. I am not going to do this. What do you advise? How should they treat, how do they deal with this situation now?
Okay, I will advise that there is no rush when it comes to doing things in the kitchen. You one mistake and everything go chaotic. So I'll advise, if you're using a blender, use a blender. After you use a blender, you use the juicer afterwards.
And I guess it means it would be important. It would be important to understand the voltage and the amperage that these adapters, that the loads that they can take. So maybe that's a culture that home users and homeowners need to get into, understanding those seemingly insignificant things, but realizing that lack of knowledge of it can have dire consequences.
Yes, that's true.
Indeed.
Okay, so tip number one: no overloading of your circuits.
Yeah.
Period.
That's a no-no.
That is a no-no. But let me ask you this: but we talk about in the kitchen, but those are equipments that we probably use periodically. The microwave, But what about in the living room? Let's go to the living room now, where the TV is always plugged on. The CD player is always plugged on. You probably have the Blu-ray. You have devices that are plugged on possibly 24 hours over the greater part of the day, and we don't even think about it.
That's true. That's true. But my point, my advice to you is that I recommend that you unplug them to save you on electricity. Because if you're not using it, remember, the appliances, most of them have devices in them that use current. Even though they're not like plugged on to really use, they absorb current. So be mindful of that. They'll be using electricity if you're not using it.
Because even when your television, the screen is not on, most of them you will see the display lights is on.
Exactly.
So it means whatever amount of electricity that. So it actually saves you. It serves a twofold purpose though. One, to avoid any unnecessary overloads on your circuit, and two, to reduce on your consumption levels.
Exactly.
Okay, so we say avoid overloading of circuits and unplug devices when equipment.
Yeah, not in
So whenever the equipment is not in use, once your equipment is not in use, Grenada, we are saying to unplug. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Also, make sure hands are dry before unplugging any appliances. And you know, Joseph, most of us can attest to that. Sometimes we're in the kitchen, we're doing this, then we just go straight and pull the plug out, and that is very dangerous.
Yeah, that's very hazardous.
Yeah.
And in the event that could cause electrical shock, you could actually damage your appliances in the process.
The appliance you're worried about then? You're taking a wet hand to hold an appliance and you're worried about the appliance.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we urge you to be safe because in the process you can get shocked too.
Yeah, I'm just kind of laughing at you said the appliance, but I'm saying, believe me. I mean, I think folks, before you even worried about the appliance, you probably should just worry about your own personal safety.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, folks, we know we get in our homes, it's our comfort area. And we get used to doing things. So for us, it seems as a seemingly insignificant, everyday process that I do. So I'm busy multitasking. I just came from the sink and I just took my hands to hold the toaster, to plug on the toaster oven, and we assume, well, what could possibly go wrong with a wet hand holding on to a device that you're now about to plug into an electrical circuit.
I know.
So we're saying, I mean, and while it even sound jokey, the reality is those are the things that we do without even thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're saying you dry hands at all times when you want to engage with any electrical appliance. Dry your hands.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, all electrical equipment should be in proper working condition. And Joseph, sometimes, we might have a cord and it might have a break and, we still want to use it. That's a no-no. So, yes, that's a no-no. Get it fixed, get a new one. Try not to use cord that is broken.
You say that easy? Get a new one. Listen, according to that is what electrical tape there for. And I'm saying it because the reality, while you may sound joking, fine. I'm saying it that way because the reality is that is what the average person is going to do.
Correct.
So we realize we go to plug in the device, it didn't come on. But then you realize you have to rock the plug left, rock it right.
Exactly.
And then eventually we figure out at which angle to hold it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying the plug's broken? Get it repaired.
Replace it.
Right.
Yeah,
And
replacing
replacing it may not necessarily. The first option could be that of maybe a simple repairing it. Get an electrician. You may probably need to split the cord itself and get two adapters connected. But don't just assume listen that it is all hunky dory.
Yeah, and before you do that, please, we advise you, if you're going to do that, please get advice from an electrician.
Let me ask you, and I know that is advice I must say, and I always say that I applaud you guys. You always encourage that. Get advice from the experts. Don't assume anything. But let me show a practical one. I'm not sure. I think each and every one of us we've had an occasion with our mobile chargers. Yeah, I think we've all had it. For some reason, the cord breaks. But at some point, we get to figure out if I fold it one, I bend it two, and I tie it around here so it stays steady and it is working. Your advice on that?
My advice is that to replace the cord.
What, boy? Not to replace a lot of things in my life, boy.
Yeah, replace the cord. I mean, the USB cord, it's not that expensive these days. I mean, you can replace it.
Yes, and we have them selling here as well. It's
we actually have only $5.
Talk to the person out there, because people are always going to go to think, you know what, they are saying replace it, only because, I mean, let's put it into context. And in case you just joined us at 14 minutes past the hour, let's just remind folks and put the conversation into context. Listen.
Yeah.
Your home is supposed to be a sanctuary.
Exactly.
Your haven is that which you've invested your life work into. And why would you want to do anything that compromise the sanctity of your little sanctuary and have to be hurting your head now about a fire breaking out?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we think about it, we don't think about it. Sometimes you may not know when it would happen. God forbid. Sometimes these things happen when you are home.
And
what about
not even
if I'm trying to plug in a device and I realize it starts to spark? What should I do? So I've had my toaster, and I'm saying toasters because those are not things that you use every day. And toasters, they seem to last a long time,
Yes.
And nobody bothers with it, but it's just there. Well, I have an adapter. It's in the kitchen. I got a plug on my toaster, and all of a sudden, I started to see 4th of July celebrations in the kitchen. What do you advise?
Okay, first of all, I will advise you to switch off the main power. Switch off the main power, and switch off the main power in the process and safeguard the plug from the socket. Remove the socket from the plug from the socket. Sorry.
Right.
Because what will happen is that the adapter may be faulty or the plug have a defect.
Right. So So once you see sparks, that's not normal. That's not normal.
That's not normal.
That's an automatic red flag.
Yes.
And you're saying that requires immediate attention.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Immediate. Do not plug it in and then say, oh no, I'm gonna put that adapter there and try next one. check to see if the plug is damaged. Sometimes the wire inside the plug is damaged. And then again, too, sometimes the adapter, the contact inside is probably damaged also. And it's grounding off the wrong way. So that is causing the sparking. So I'd urge you to replace the adapter or get the plug checked out.
What sort of challenge? And I'm asking you because I've had that experience one time. Ants just seem to find themselves in the wrong part of your house. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with them. I mean, you have your little home, your home. You have a whole yard outside that ants could play in. But somehow they just figure they need to come inside and find themselves. You see them passing around plugs and little sockets, and let's talk about should that be a concern? Because I've had an occasion where I was trying to plug in a device is not working. Okay, couldn't bother much with it, and then when I eventually something is wrong, and took out the socket, realized that those ants had literally made themselves at home inside of the socket.
Yeah, that's true. Because we have a lot of customers that actually coming in and actually talking about those events. And we'll urge that what you could do, we have the MK product, which actually safeguards against the ants.
What is that? What is that? MK product?
MK is the brand. It's a UK brand. It comes in, we have the outlets, we have the plugs, switches and stuff. And another thing I want to add is that you could probably check around your house and probably use bugs repellent and stuff, like for the ants, insect repellents and stuff. So you could run around the house and make sure that there is no nests, anything around.
And I guess would you agree? Because the truth is, most individual homes when they design the electrical fittings, they run into the wall.
Yeah.
And so it seems almost you don't know, you can't see. And it's not a case where say you have the trunkins on the wall and maybe you can see, but sometimes you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
That is true.
Would you advise? What would you advise? Sorry, go ahead.
But you know what really caused that too is because our hand tend to touch different things. We have to be mindful of that too.
Right.
The sweet, ants, insect, they attracted to sweet stuff. Sometimes when we're eating something, you switch off the lights, doing something in the kitchen, and that's where it more occur in the kitchen areas.
Why are you on the light? You talk about the lights. We talked about the lights for the plugging and unplugging of equipment, devices. What about the need to dry hands thoroughly for the lights, those lights, the switches? We seem to take it for granted. Well, it is a plastic switch, so I'm just going to click and it is on.
Yeah, you should try it. Yeah. Because water is something you cannot stop water from entering anything.
Right.
Even though you try sometimes. And over time, what will happen? Fill up.
Yeah.
And then you must switch up with your wet hands now. Now the water is making contact with the existing water there. You could get an electrical zap in the process. So you have to be mindful of that.
And for those of you who you're trying to figure out what an electrical zap is, you don't want to find out. Yeah. So you don't want to find out what an electrical zap is. So the rule is water and anything that when it comes to electricity, as a rule, dry your hands thoroughly. And I'm saying it because I know each and every one of us at some point in time, we've done it. Unless if it has never happened to you, well, praise the Lord for you. But you coming from the bathroom, you're running from the shower, you go run into your bedroom, you take your hands and you probably just you're in the kitchen, something happens, you just flick the light switch. We're saying as a matter of practice and culture, that should be avoided at all cost. Okay.
Exactly.
And also, Joseph, not to cut you off, the toddlers, they tends to, every little hole, they tends to try put stuff in there. So we have the child-proof cover for the outlets.
Right.
So for those of you who are looking for the child-proof outlets, we have them available here at the Wireman's house.
And so what's the cost of it?
It's just $1.06.
Just $1.06.
Oh, just I think that is that's a price you could believe me. To protect your loved one, I think you could safely say it's just $1.00. Believe me, I don't think anything could possibly go wrong with that. Investing in the safety of your children, because children, being children, they are going to do what they do. They're inquisitive. Exactly. You and I, we're not going to deliberately take our hands and push it into a socket. But a child, and you may just... They're curious. Yeah. They are curious. Yeah. It is their world. So you have those safe, and they just $1. And how much you say?
$1.50. Let's say $2.
$1.50. That's less than a beer, less than a chubby. Yeah, less than a chubby. And it's better to, as you say, but it's better to be safe. Than sorry. While you're on the kids though, what other advice do you have for keeping the kids safe, the children safe?
Okay, basically I want to touch on is that pay attention to your children while they're home, because right now they will be into a lot of different things sometimes. And the tablets and stuff. Be mindful of what they're looking at, and then again too, them other kids, they might be in the yard, bouncing around. Just keep an eye on them and make sure that they're safe.
And not only that, Joseph, sometimes, they have their tablet using and they also have it plugged in, and that is not a good thing also. So, kids, if you're listening, please desist from that. If your charger is low, just let it charge fully and then plug out your charger and use it. Don't have it plugged in and be using it. That is not good at all.
Yeah. It could damage your tablet in the process.
Even the phone, sometimes, you have your phone and it's plugged in and you're using it. It's not safe. Let it charge fully and then you use your phone as normal.
And certainly a word of advice to parents and children, that you see them, parents, you need to allow your children, manage the amount of device time your children have. Listen, and I know sometimes for parents it is easy that I'm just going to leave him or her on the device. They're not going to get into trouble. They're on their bed and they're on this device for 4 or 5 hours. Now here is the challenge that you have with this, and then maybe we can always get an expert to explain what happens here. Children, after a while, you take this device and you put it 2 centimeters in front of your eyes. Your eyes gets used to monitoring the device at that range. It locks onto it. Listen, even us, you at work, do encourage you ever so often to move away from the computer. Give your eyes a break. Don't put too much of unnecessary pressure on the muscles in your eyes. So parents, it is okay. Manage the time, even if it is something, and don't say, well, it is something educational that they're doing. Yes, it is educational, but remember, it's the eyes, it is muscles. Don't strain it literally. I know it's better if you say to them, you know what, maybe you could watch this one on the device, because sometimes they may be watching it on YouTube. Let them sit in front of the television and watch it on YouTube from a distance. So parents, these are just some of the practical things that you can do while you're home with the kids. Manage the time. I know it's almost easy for you to say, you know what, I just give my child my device and they are safe. Well, they might be safe from getting into your way in the house, but as you're saying, we advise it that you monitor the devices, know what is it that they are looking at, and also want to encourage parents to become a little bit tech savvy as well. Know exactly how to get around those devices, to know what is it that they are looking at. If you're going to the cache memory. You go into the browser history. You would see, okay, when they were looking at X and X at X, you don't even need to ask them. Because if you ask them, they will always tell you they were probably looking at Tom and Jerry. Yeah? Poor Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, exactly.
Tom will probably even know the last he see Jerry, much as he probably even saw them. 25 minutes gone past the hour with our friends here from inside of the Wireman House. So today we're focusing on general tips and general tips as to keeping safe, not just during the summer break, but general tips around the house. We talked about a lot of things, guys. What did we miss? We talked about safety in the kitchen, ensuring you avoid wet hands and those sort of things.
Yeah.
If at any point in time there is anything that seemingly is going wrong at home, the advice is call on the professionals.
Yeah, exactly.
Just that people understand, that electrician has nothing to do with what the Wireman's house.
No,
Right.
Absolutely not.
So we wanted to be careful that this is general tips that we're giving, that nobody is telling you to call the Wireman's house. The Wireman's house encourages you to call a professional. Not the guy next door that is walking around with some electrical tape and a screwdriver. He's not a professional, right? And if you're not sure who the professionals are, then certainly at the Wireman's house you can guide them in that direction.
Yes, you can.
And Joseph, seeing that we on safety, we have safety vests here. So for those of you who are looking for safety vests, we have the helmets, we have the defenders, we have the goggles, we also have the caution tape, the wet flow signs, and all these revolves around safety. So we always want everyone to be safe. So if you're looking for any of these stuff, you can check us out right here at the Wireman's house.
And just to add, to put it into perspective, the safety conversation isn't just limited to when you are, let's say, a professional job site. Even at home, simple as it may seem.
Yeah.
You're probably going, maybe you're one of those you're a handyman, and you're just going to cut down a tree. You're in a little workshop downstairs. You're probably just going to possibly just go cut the grass on the outside. It's important. It is very, very important. Just wearing of goggles. But I've learned that the hard way. Literally, I've learned that the hard way. You're home cutting grass. I'm home. We need to go. And then all of a sudden, a blade of grass gets into your eyes. Something gets into your eyes. And you literally have to stop for 10 minutes in discomfort. We say safety should always be at the front of our minds, whether at home, at work, wherever we are.
Yes, indeed.
That's true, Joe.
Folks, we almost out of time. Look at that. We've literally run through half an hour already. But we're just gonna take the next 2-3 minutes. Summarize. Safety. Remind folks, and if you are in doubt, call the experts, call the Wireman's house, give them all the necessary contact numbers and details that they would need to know.
So for those of you who are trying to locate us, we are located in Woodland, St. George's, and you can reach us on 443-5577 or 449-5577. You can also email us at thewireman'shouse@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Our working hours from Monday to Thursday, we are open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Fridays, we are open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. On Saturdays, we are open from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Not forgetting, we do free deliveries within St. George's and also custom orders here. So guys, as I always say to everyone who is listening, looking, make the Wireman's house a one-stop shop where you can come shop in comfort, where friendly staff always awaits you, where you're paying for quality products at affordable prices.
You couldn't have put it better. And in case you probably knew and you have no idea where the Woodlands is and or the Wireman's house is, we can make it easy for you. So if you're coming through the valley, coming through the back road, as we say, Grandad's Valley, look for some, and it's a little trick they use, when you're traveling, mark a spot. Pick a spot when you're going somewhere new. So when you're going to Woodlands, the first thing you look for is the passcode B.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you're coming from the Woodlands, the valley end, once you get to Clark's Code Bay, that's your signal that you are approaching the Wireman's
the Wireman
house. If you're coming from the reverse direction, Springs coming through Woodlands, once you get to the Distillers, I'm giving you early notice. You hit the Distillers, you tell yourself, okay, anyway from here, the Wireman's house is coming up sooner rather than later. Man, I'm only using Distillers because I think everybody probably, the average Grenadians knows exactly where the Distillers is.
Yes.
After the Distillers, you hit there, there's two major corners you have to take. Corner 1, corner 2, the Distillers is right there. And the Wireman's house is right there. And you're located right on the main road. You're right on the main road, so you can't miss it. 2-story or 3 stories? Painted in green?
It's a
3-story.
green.
Yeah.
It's painted in green. Can't miss it.
Can't miss it. A lot of parking space to the front.
Yes, indeed.
And of course, you have to remind folks that the COVID-19 protocols, they all remain in place.
Yes, so wash your hands, wear your mask, try and maintain your 6 feet distances. You know it's a bit hard, but if we want to get past this, we have to, follow the protocols.
I always smile. You were taught as a child from kindergarten. Wash your hands. When you sneeze in, cover your sneeze. Who would have probably imagined that we in our old age, they still have to be telling us. Boy, there's some things you learn from quite an early age and not realizing the significance and importance of being taught these things. You go to school and they teach you say good morning and good evening when you walk into a building. When you sneeze and you're coughing, who would have realized? Look,
exactly.
We still have to be teaching that, but it is what it is. Folks, do what you have to do. Keep safe. COVID-19 is an ever-present threat. Reminding you, keep safe as best as you can. And if you're ever in doubt about what is needed and how do you find a professional, call the professionals themselves at the Wireman's house at 443-5577. You can also call them on their mobile, 449-5577. Inquire, and they will take care of everything electrical needs for you. They're no longer just electrical needs. It's a one-stop shopping experience. And you also provide a catalog service.
Absolutely.
If there's that item that you're looking for that you saw on Alibaba, you saw on some website, someplace halfway across the globe that you can't carry on your head and go home, then why worry? Just call the Wireman's house and they will take care of that for you. Guys, thanks a lot. It's always a pleasure doing this every Wednesday. Again, remember, folks, your home children, your home. We want to encourage parents. It is the 11th of August. School reopens in just under 3 weeks. Get your children back into the culture. Waking up early. Yes, we know because it's a summer break, you let them do what they want. Waking up early. Don't wait until the weekend before school opens and hope they're going to wake up early Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning. But that's when they sleep themselves. Mommy, I'm tired. What do you do? I'm tired. Of course they're tired. It may seem simple, guys. Get the children into the books. And even if you have not yet purchased their full suite of school books, make use of technology. YouTube, all of those different platforms. There's scores of educational program. I give you one right off the cuff. Go to YouTube and type in Dr. Binox. Believe me, Dr. Binox will keep your children. You see, I give you guys free advice, Dr. Binox. Dr. Binox can tell you anything. Dr. Binox, what is COVID? What is photosynthesis? What is this? What is that? The only thing Dr. Binox not able to tell you is what is it we're going to have for lunch today. And I'm not sure he knows exactly where the Wireman's house is located. But if you ask Dr. Binox what is three-phase current, how to wire a plug, he tells you that. Simple things. Folks, keep your children, keep their brain actively involved, because the brain, when it is not used, it becomes lazy. It becomes lazy.
True.
Guys, it's always a pleasure. The good Lord's willing, we do this next week. Again, folks, remind you, check out the Wireman's house down there on the Woodlands Main Road. Give them a call, 443-5577. That's the office number. Or their mobile, 449-5577. Peace and love. Have a great one, guys.
Thanks for having us, Joe.
Never
It's always a
Never a
pleasure.
problem. It is 24 minutes on to the hour. Reminding you at the top of the hour is going to be the midday edition, a production of our news and current affairs department. For those of you that is on television, this is where I leave you for now. I know parting is such sweet sorrow, but here's what it does. It sets up the anticipation that you and we're going to do this all over again. For those of you that's in television, tomorrow night I will be with you on Rock the Box as we do always. Tomorrow night is even more special. Tomorrow night we'll be rocking the box with the Olympians. With the Olympians. Kirani James is going to be there. What's wrong with me? Anderson Peters is going to be there. We'll be rocking the box with Lyndon Victor, our decathlete. We'll be rocking the box with Delirun Felix, our swimmer. Join us tomorrow at 8 o'clock on GBN television, where we rock the box, yeah, with the Olympians. For those